Good morning, folks. It's 8:28 a.m. on the 8th month, 7th day, 2025. Right, it says that I'm live, so I will proceed. Good morning. So what we're looking at here is current conditions coming up here in about an hour, and right now, yeah, current an hour from now. That's a bit misdirective sounding. So right on schedule. Very heavy surf, heavy storms for Cuffs, and just south of it, Nabucco Heads, and you can expect that to continue for another 8 to 10 hours. Pretty unabated. Just steady dump and steady bringing before this thing heads a bit north. And as it goes north, it's bringing some fair totals with it. As you can see, a lot of people that lived in the Northern Rivers areas and Brisbane areas seen a lot of chem today, and it is going to lead to some fair falls of rain for you guys in this area. And so I'm going to go over that now. You got this. It's nothing that you can't handle, right? It's not like a 300 mile storm or anything like that. But some places are going to get 8 centimeters of rain very easily, like this Yamba area through here. There's a sweat that's coming back through here. And so we'll go over that a bit for you guys. And surf is now moving north. And so as you've had your fill of that wave in Sydney, you might want to go north toward Newcastle and Coffs Harbour, or just get right on out there to Burleigh and enjoy yourself, because it's been very fun out there for the past 24 hours. Yeah, I do enjoy telling people where to have fun. Oh, well, let's move the map along. What do you think? Why not? So let me see if I can catch any questions or anything. And I found out I've been totally snoozed and shadow banned. Facebook has gone in and pretty much removed all following as they switched over to this professional mode that people is suddenly making everybody's work is not public unless you agree. And it doesn't cost money to give up your identification information. Chinese internet protocols I've been telling you about. As we head into the weekend, you're going to want to be aware of the electrical potential of this storm from Newcastle north to Coffs. Right, you see, it's going to get quite fast in bed, and that'll be during your daytime hours. And when the tops of the clouds heat up from the sun, you'll get some natural effects as well with the geoengineering. Don't ever say that natural weather doesn't exist anymore. Now, the reproduction of natural conditions happen a lot, but there's still natural weather that occurs, and I look for it. Right? What happens when this wind goes through a mountain pass? Those type things will be in natural effects, right? Just because the sky is totally sprayed, it doesn't mean that. I have to say that because I don't like hearing this cloud is fake or this and that. No, that's quite real, that cloud. But what is it made of? Is it the clean water vapor we used to think clouds were when we were kids? Or has something changed? And I know something's changed. When I never drew crisscross lines, when I drew pictures of the clouds and the sky and trees, no. And like I see kids drawing pictures now, it's a blue sun. They pick a blue crayon instead of an orange or a yellow. And the crisscross lines are in their pictures and square clouds rather than those puffy ones we used to draw. And that just tells me clearly something is different than it was 60 years ago, when I was 1 year old. Yeah, I'm watching this storm fair carefully because there's nowhere for it to go south of the tip of the South Island of New Zealand, and that's going to set you guys up for a fair major winter storm coming around the 21st and 20th of the month. So I'll be keeping an eye on that. Same with you, Perth. You've got some fair action coming over the next few days. I'm gonna get right to you for the weekend. Yeah, just in time for those wonderful protests where you get to scream for your freedoms. Yeah, they're going to hit the corner down here. Albany, you're going to get a smack. And that's going to be pretty much during the daytime hours of Saturday, from the early morning on through the day. And it's going to fuck off there quick. But this tendril here is going to affect this area for quite a few days. There's just nowhere for it to go. As this tendril drops south here and it has an EMF line here, it just backs things up. The flow is just turning everything. So that's going to drop a lot of condensates on these lakes up here in the Kalgoorlie area. So it'll lead to some fair totals, actually. And winter's showing up again, too. And I'm very much in disagreeing with what Windy is saying about the Yapun area. I do not see how you can get the totals they're saying. I don't see how. So I'm going to really disagree with them today. Set a lot of minds at ease. Yeah, you see what's coming? And this is just through the 14th. Right? So you got a series of wets coming. Yep. As they flood out your suburbs, But you got this. It's nothing too huge, right? And you got some great surfs coming to your area as well. Coming up during probably about the 13th and 14th when it's coming ashore. I'll be seeing some 6 or 7 meter seas out there when you have the swell on it. I told you guys was good that Sydney was going to be a place to be for them runs. Now get your ass up north a little bit, and you still got a couple more days of fun left. Yeah, the low never fully formed close to shore, so you're not going to get the 7 meter swells up along here. I mean waves with the 5 meter swells that you could have gotten. But there's still some terrible totals coming for you guys. As I move this closer to now, you see the totals that they're saying for you guys in the 4 and 5 centimeter ranges here easily. So these rivers are going to run. And the more closer you get to Yama, the heavier the falls will be during this next few days events. Some people are disagreeing. But I looked at the tendril of water that just came across the bight, and I looked at what's coming across the ocean, and I looked at the cabams, and I've determined that this map here is fairly accurate. Okay, so we'll be on a look. Notice how they dropped the total since I just showed you a moment ago. Yeah, I just love when they play games like that. Because this is what I saw earlier. If they want to do that, I'm going to do this. When I was seeing totals like this along the coastline here, I have to disagree with that, right? As I come down to this one, this should show you the Northern River total. They were showing me 6. They've cut that down in half, right? And that wasn't that long ago that I took this one. That was a last night's total. They don't make their mind up, but I look at things like this to determine where the water is, how much is there. This is a big blast that went over from the United States. Russia and China's entered into the EMF fray. Have been firing at each other over the North Pole now for many days, which is a big problem. As you see this one here over the United States here, that's and they had a few quakes over Oklahoma in here, smalls in the 2s, but this is going to really pin the totals right along the mountains here, and it's also going to cause a backup. It's going to cause you. It's going to make the rain miss where all the fires are. Up here in Canada, and actually drive things down in through this way here. And this is all very seismically active. San Andreas fault right here is on the edge of that beam line. You have the New Madrid fault right here is on that beam line. This is bad. I don't like seeing stuff like this. Yeah, so they've been continuing. I've yet to be able to determine who did this beam, because conicity is saying the device would be here, right? But they can fire beams in strange directions. The only other epicenter could be here, and it would be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 meshed antenna. Yeah, each one of those will do its own kind of state line. Know this. And the farther away from the device, the farther apart some of them pulse lines will get as you go in the distance. And here you see a pulse crusher center here. Pinning this moisture like a tomahawk and bringing it right through here. That's why I say that the totals are too low to showing for northern rivers here. I prefer to have you guys fully prepared, like what I just showed you a few moments ago. Right, so we're going to continue to roll your current conditions, and I'll zip over to New Zealand. Coming around 20th or so, I'm very concerned about that big storm for you guys, but don't be panicking, because we don't do panic. We do preparation. What do you do? Prepare for a big storm? I don't know what you require. Yeah, condoms, lubes, batteries, and directions of how to go fuck yourself if you get too worried. I don't know. I'm still concentrating on this area here. See, I'm not in full agreement because I'm seeing a line here and it's going to have a hard time for it to get past. It's actually right here going across. It's spelled out in the clouds pretty well. Okay, so I'll show you my determinant on that right now. The easiest way to do it is to show it. Right, so I'll come up here and I'll show you all the flow lines across the ocean, and why I say what I say. And that should be sufficient. I also have the advantage of having already looked at this, so I know what to do here already. All right, first thing I see here, let's get some. Let's go with the purple on the nurple today. We got a pulse wave through here. It's not showing up very well. How about that? Pulse wave across the ocean. Right through here. Right? And it's coming down that direction. See? They even drew a chem line here for that, the waveform itself to have something to push against. Yeah, viscosity. I keep mentioning how important that is. And as I look toward this area, I see scalar right here. I see the outlets here. I don't see how it's going to get past that line that the military has just put out here. See all these bombs out here in that square? Right, see this? As I go in this area, everything is set to come down here. The closest it's coming is right just south of the airport in Rocky. I don't see how that flow is coming straight over the top of you. It's not sensical. And that'll be rotating that direction, kind of funneling stuff in that way. Excuse me, you can't see the arrow. That way. Down. Down. Yeah. I come down here. You see this pulse waves off the coast? This is done with next-red radar. Right? All of these. All of them. One here. One here. One here. And those put a flow out to sea. It shows up in the plasmas. This has been pulsing a while. Look how many pulses it's done. And that holds the flow in. Right? There's no flow that can come in past that freely. It wants to come like that because of the flow coming down the ocean itself. And those big beam lines are resistance line. And look at this line here. You think that's natural? That's a massive beam that it takes to do that. Is it affected an area that's beyond the reach of what next-red radar can perturb? And you look right down in here, see the waveforms? See the square edges there? You know you've been geoengineered when you see this. And boy, did you get kicked bad today. Really, 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 really terrible chemtrails going on. Right? So when I look in here, I see the setups for the rain too have not really gone this far north. Right? Just north of Gladstone. And this line through here is where I say the heavier rains are going to fall. Agnes Water, you're definitely in the line of the sickness mix today. Look at the fallout from that stuff. You could put it in international waters, and that streamer, that shit could still go tickle your nose. Not so fun to think about. A carpet bombing of a country or the Great Barrier Reef itself. What are they right here? Pfizer in this guy? What the fuck is in the name of Klaus Schwab and shit is that? Everybody else thinking he's getting arrested for something. They say they didn't like how he used the funds of the WEF for his parties and his stuff. So when's that ever gotten any politician arrested? We're going to wake up dead one day while one of them standing over us harvesting our organs. Fucking hell. Apple Tree Creek, you got sprayed deep. Look at the big scalar square form to this. A big mass of shit here. And inside it, it's got its own vortices forming. There might be some mountains down here as well. I'm seeing some what I would say would be natural pass effects from valleys and cliff walls. Making a cliff wall out at sea is a great way to create lift, wouldn't you say? And you can use a waveform to do that. You can, just up and downs. Spikes, square waves, frying waves. Bzzz, bzzz, getting fried, Strayer style. Look at this shit here. I ain't kidding you. It's just horrendous to see this shit. Want to see the demon I showed you? He's up here. Yeah, they're playing with stuff. It was just off the coast here. See the head sideways? It looked like an arc blowing out something. There used to be legends about the fell wind. Yes? Was that Casper, the not-so-friendly ghost? And it's blowing out something. Yeah, I do believe in demonic things. Yes. Because I see it in this guy, and I know what our religions that our oppressors are following. See that pulse line through here? Yeah, showing up in different plasmonics. But if the wind is blowing this direction here, you see those waveforms here? Those can naturally occur in this spot. Very often do in these Aleutian Islands out here in the Alaskan Panhandle. And that would be a natural effect. So don't always think every time you see that kind of waveform in the clouds that it's automatically a Haarp or a Eachotrher. Most of the ones you see over you here that were done over like Brisbane last week or a couple of days ago, whatever day it was that you fried the hell out of you, was done with local Eachotrher. It wasn't done with Haarp at all. Yeah, so to call Haarp and Eachotrher the same thing is to be ignorant of what I'm telling you. You're ignoring me. One is a phased array, like a microwave, and uses a synchrotron, and the other one uses antennas, modulated frequency, and radio waves. There's a big difference, and it's a whole different part of the electromagnetic spectrum. And they all create a sound when deployed. Oh, isn't it nice to have an alarm in the background? Now look at the frying that went out here. This is Alice Springs. There are quite a few devices on out here that are very active, because they're forcing the flow across the country. They don't want this to come inland and dissipate. They want to direct it. They want this to come through here. They want that cold air through here. You see where it curved and up right there? You see pretty good that right here going on, where they use the microwave here and to turn the storm. You see Kim go in this direction and then it turns. It just bends because the waveform itself is bending it. Yep. Bends. See the wave come across here? Some of that's a shadow of a chemtrail. One's going sideways like this. See if we can catch it. It's very hard to see when they're very thin. You have them basically going north, south, and east, west in the same spot. But really, it's just different layers of the atmosphere being treated differently with the microwaves. Like Big Betty with her mouth open down there in a bite. Like the dark wind blows. Hey, that good boy, did they spray you like bugs down there, Adelaide? Fuck, no. It was horrible looking. Look at this crap here. Big sign that says Adelaide, and you can hardly see the ocean. Oh, look, editing out the feed. You ain't hiding your guilt in the sky, motherfuckers. Everybody done took pictures of this shit today. Don't make me do it. Ask people to post pictures so we can prove to you how clearly we can see your crime in the sky, and the fact you're hiding it shows your guilt, right? If you ain't guilty, you openly show shit. Am I correct? Yes, you do. You don't hide them. And you don't tell the press or anybody it's not important to talk about chemtrails or Epstein's list for that matter, unless you're guilty on it and you're trying to cover it up. How I feel about this, and I look at here, the lack of sunshine on the Sunshine Coast in this big wedgie shape. You ain't telling me there ain't no Eachotrher radar right about. Let's see if we can nail it, because they could pan different, but all these lines are telling me something. They're all just fucking just begging for me to connect the dots. Well, let's do that. Why not? I got Mr. Squiggles here. Let's just map this out. What do we see with our eyes? We see a pulse. We see a wedge. Is anything beating in the same spots? See this line here? These all seem to be triangulating. I know there's an Eachotrher here, so it's not fair. I already know that one. Yes, it's all adding up. Big scalar square here. Another wedgie here. Boy, you guys got fried like fuck. Wedge out to sea. You wonder why it's trapped and everything down here below Brisbane? Let's look what they did over here on the lack of sunshine coast. Yep. You got fried like fuck. Well, then the hinterland. We shall call it the hinterland, and we will have the master plan. Look at this chemtrail right here. See this shit? That ain't. And this went under this stuff. So this stuff's fallout, nucleated it. All it needed was a hot engine had come through here. That's a shadow. It's not a black chemtrail, it's a shadow. It tells me the sun was coming from this direction. Yep. Chemtrail, chem bomb. The fryer bomb. EMF bombs. Alley's Creek. Creaky Alley. McGuinn and McGuire's chemtrails couldn't get higher, and you know where that's at. And who's spraying on our sky is getting fat. Do-do-do-do, boom, ba-da-boom, boom, boom. My eyes are itchy, and is my titchy? The sky looks like it's been sprayed today. Bull State Forest is having chemtrail forest. Having big breakfast today. You're eating that chemtrails, you know. They're falling out in the rain or getting in your food. All your vegetarian food is absolutely contaminated. It looks like magic in this sky. See the numbers? They do this. They write their magic in the sky, just like they would do markings on a floor for the golden child to retain it. And they think this world is their golden child. And I say that's wrong. And I say the sickness mix I'm seeing here is a very toxic mix. This is not the healthy one, if there ever was one. These not healthy dust. They're not spraying fucking vitamins on your race. You get it? Anybody saying that, you prove otherwise. I ain't never picked up a sample of ivermectin falling out of the sky. We have had some blue shit fall down, which looks a lot like barium, like they shoving an enema. You know, when they do those kind of looking up your ass kind of shit. I got Tourette's, and if you guys can't understand that, then just fuck right on off. This is hard to watch. Look at all these wedgies over here over this national park. Right? Look at this. New England being treated like the old England. You know, oh, sure, we always got like a horseshoe laying on the ground with a triangle in the middle. Oh, fucking hell, this is bad. I'm down here where they shoot the brumbies and stuff, because you guys let them kill your animals that you say you love. Because it's not convenient for you to help them. What a fucking shame. It's nice to see some clear ground here. Yay, Mercapator, but that's okay. They'll decapitate you soon. It's coming your way. The big chemtrail day, and here's the cascading crap. On and on and on and on, and I'm getting pissed off. Yeah, I'm going to have to just continue now. Oh, boy. Current conditions need changing. The whole political climate needs changing. Political climate change needs to happen. And that'll fix this climate change. That they blame on us, when clearly it's the chemical catalyst. Clearly litigated, clearly asked for, clearly spelled out, and clearly harming us all. Everything, all life being harmed. But that's okay. There's a corporation that'll give you an aluminum-resistant tree and seed. Well, since when did aluminum exist naturally on the soils of our planet? When it's something that has to be processed in a manufacturing facility. It never should be there. So if we just check the tree core samples for the past 500 years, I'm sure we'll have a very definitive timeline of how geoengineering has toxified my world. And if you don't want to listen to me suggesting that I've been asking for this for over a decade and a half, then you just didn't listen. You didn't care. It wasn't convenient. It wasn't suggested by someone you love. What the fuck have I ever done to you guys? You have to ask that. Other than try to be helpful. Yeah, I've caught a bit of abuse today. And no, you didn't make me not give a forecast. You made me give a longer one. Yep. That's your whole coastline. You see this coming across on the 13th and 14th? Yeah, that's going to wet you down in Canberra. Well, absolutely, but at least it's a midweek storm. It's about the time I need to come over to New Zealand and show you this one. Hi, the smackaroo coming. This is to swell the streams, and this is to kill the dreams. And there's going to be some big fucking totals from this one. Big totals. And I can't determine an exact amount until I see what leaves the coast of ice. Till I see what chemtrails have wicked into the air with their hygroscopic properties. Yeah, their ability to, like, crystals that could take humidity out of the air in your house. You pour a bowl of water out. They got stuff in the sky that'll do that too. Aluminum salts do it very well, actually. Oh, we had a bit of a refresher this great little winter weather coming. Looks like we're having a little bit of trouble. We're gonna have to throw some of the bandwidth down here. And maybe this will come through. Yeah, this is a big concern for me. The winds are going to be fair high. Not as bad as that one you had last week, but you'll be seeing winds in the 70s, easy. Kilometers. Kilometers. Those kilometers, man. And that event is going to dump a fair amount. I think my signal is about gone. Oh, well, that's just how that rolls. I will do a train wreck. See, that's always nice to see. But this is not. It's going to be higher than that. That's way too low. I'm thinking you're going to be in the 15s, especially along here. So we will be watching this very closely. Will we not? Yes. We will not panic. No. Why? Because we keep an eye on ourselves. Because we don't depend on anybody to keep an eye on Mother Earth but us. And if we don't keep an eye on our mother, then a bunch of motherfuckers are going to keep an eye on it and tell you what it is. And what it is burning you out. What it is man-made fires here. And this is an absolute fucking crime scene, this one. This one here, I've already loaded it earlier. So you can see some of these grid patterns that show up in these. Oh, that was nice to see. I'm going between the day and night. Some of these are just so obvious. There's no way a camper or camping fires did this, as they're trying to ban camping now, so you don't see them burning your forests out. If you don't have the wood to build stuff, who does? Will the plastic industry suddenly step in? Yeah, this has been a terrible, terrible incidents going on over here. Look at near Beaver Hill Lake down here. All these fires raging. But then again, this seems awful the same. Like there's 6 in a row here. Same angle of trapeze. It's just, oh, fuck. It's just so hard to watch every day. As I watch them burning out our forest and blaming you. Telling you can't go hiking. You can't have a connection in the land. Or God forbid you could swim with a dolphin. And maybe communicate your love for that animal to it. And it communicate to you. As long as we allow ourselves to be chained down, we will be chained down. Yep. Modern slavery, it doesn't give a shit about the color of your skin anymore. All it cares about is the number you were birthed with, and a place over here that decides the autonomy of every country in the world. Right up here up the Hudson River with the United Nations, where they don't seem very united for the people. It's a corporation united. And it's united to poison us. It's united to make money. It's united because we have not united. It's time to put the unity in community. Big love. Stay safe. Peace.